Hello everyone, welcome to this video where I am going to explore your subconscious mind so that you can discover what it means to dream about scorpions, those arachnids that can attack you without you noticing that. Something that occurs because scorpions are generally considered to be very temperamental beings, and therefore, to approach them, you must do it very carefully. Essentially, because if you do not do it, since they have the ability to attack you when you least expect it. And for that reason, scorpions are often associated with death, change, and betrayal. Although in reality, the scorpion symbolizes territoriality, the determination of limits, and therefore the fact of not allowing someone to invade his space, which is directly related to the meaning of this dream. That's what we are going to be talking about here, but before going into the analysis, in case you don't know me, let me introduce myself. My name is Robert. I am a psychoanalyst with more than 30 years of experience, and in case you want to have psychoanalysis session with me, or in case you want the psychoanalysis of one of your dreams, just send me an email to the one that I am going to leave you here below in the description of this video so I can tell you how you can join my consultation. Now, back to what it means to dream of scorpions. This is a very important dream because from the outset, it is revealing that you are going through a phase of your life where you feel that your world has become too small. You want to expand your horizons, but you fear that if you do, you could be betrayed by those people who have always been with you to protect you. And there is the core of all your distress states. This dream is revealing that all your frustration stems from the fact that you only feel safe or secure to the extent that you comply with the rules of certain people, which otherwise no longer satisfy you. And that is why the figure of the scorpion is presented in your subconscious mind. It is a warning, a symptom that reflects that you no longer want to be tied to certain limits that others impose on you. But you cannot get out of them because for many years, those effective borders were the ones that kept you protected from any danger that you could face. And that's why you don't expand your limits. Because surely when you did it at some point in your life and you made a mistake, this caused that those who at that time were in charge of your protection to criticize you very harshly for having failed. The problem is that this situation generated a complex in your psyche that has led you for many years to fear too much going into mysterious waters, so to speak. But the point is that maturity implies doing this, going to a known place, even at the risk of being wrong. And here is the key of this matter. Deep down, the scorpion appears in your subconscious to reveal that you are the type of person who is too afraid of mistakes. In all likelihood, you are too much of a perfectionist, and that is why you do not get out of your source of control. Not only by your own will, but also by the speeches that you constantly receive from the environments in which you operate. You are the type of person who is always being told, watch out, don't go there, because you are going to get hurt. But what happens? That you no longer support that way of seeing life, because you want to explore the world, because deep down you have a great adventurous spirit, which for many years has been repressed to satisfy the desires of other people, that they were actually expressing their own dissatisfied states of distress by taking care of you. And that is what is happening to you at this moment. You want to go out into the world, but you simply cannot because you fear the criticism of those who have always protected you, because in turn, they are always using your failures to magnify your self-eyes. That thought structure is the one that at this stage of your life has come into conflict. That is why you will realize that associated with this dream, you will begin to somatize, be it anger, frustration, anguish, anxiety, or depression. And many times, you won't even know where all this comes from. Well, the dream is giving you the key. It is that energy of your psyche that has been repressed for many years and that you need to release, redirect, and interconnect your conscious self so that your mind can reach its full development. Therefore, the greatest risk that this dream poses for you is that you can stay exactly where you are right now, because that would be your end. But the most complex thing about this matter is that even if you want to move, you will not be able to do it due to all that process of guilt and fear that I have already told you about. And that's why you feel so frustrated. Well, on a dream level, this is explained because if you think about it, in the dream that we are analyzing here, usually you are going to see yourself near a scorpion, which in turn will lead you to feel an instant fear that it will cause you not to want to get close to the scorpion. Because as long as you don't get close to him, everything will be fine. But the point is that if you look closely, it is you who is invading his limits, his territory, which is what causes the scorpion to chase you. Because you, by yourself, have not realized within the framework of the dream that you are invading the territory of a being that could represent a great danger for you. And therefore, the question that arises immediately is why, at an unconscious level, you are invading the space of a creature that you know very well that could do you a lot of harm. Well, for all that I indicated, because in practice, this dream manifests itself as a part of your unconscious desire to enter territories that are dangerous for you, because deep down, it is you who want to expand your limits, which is exactly what you cannot do right now. I tell you that this is a very complex and very heavy situation because it implies, as I said, that you want to move, expand your experiences, but you cannot do it because the mistakes you made in the past lead you to stay in a state of immobility that is threatening to frustrate your entire life. And for that reason, we need to release that energy because if you do not do it, at one point, you will begin to somatize that repressive process that is taking place in your psyche. Now, it is not that this began today, but as I always say, it is most likely that in your childhood or youth, you grew up in an environment where mistakes were inadmissible. Because surely one of your parents was a person for whom failure was something very difficult to cope with, because it is most likely that he or she had certain flaws, which they themselves did not want to admit. So, how they somatized all this? Well, by forcing you not to fail, because doing so implied that they, as parents, were doing it. The problem is that this was what caused this complex of your psyche that leads you to feel a lot of insecurity when it comes to taking risks, to explore unknown worlds, and that's why in the present, when you want to go to those places, that little voice immediately arises in your psyche to tell you, don't do it. And that's why you are always going to hold back from doing what you want when it's something unknown. Because to this day, you think that every time you do something of this kind, you are inevitably going to fail. Although in the present, you already know very well that all this is a creation of your own mind. And that is why you want, with your whole being, to break with that psychic energy that is limiting you. Although it is precisely that desire of yours which causes your conscious self to repress with greater force that desires of yours that is expressing in your unconscious, because it was the mechanism through which your mind was able to adapt for many years to the environments in which you lived. But today that you are an adult, that psychic structure no longer serves you and therefore must be transformed by redirecting that energy so that you can live in balance. As you can see, this is a much more complex dream than it might seem, so you have to pay close attention in case you see in a dream in the company of a scorpion. For the same reason, you already know that if you want me to psychoanalyze some of your dreams or have therapy sessions with me, just send me an email to the one that I leave you below so that I can tell you the way in which you can integrate to my consultation. And please do not forget to subscribe to my channel, like this video if it helped you in any way, and share it so that others can access to this kind of knowledge. Have a wonderful day, and with it, the most beautiful dreams. Bye!